everybody? This is Dario Hunt from Living Life Fearless, and I'm back with another reaction. This time, Anything But Words by Banks and Steelz. For those of you that were unaware, like me initially, Banks is referring to Paul Banks of Interpol fame, and Steelz is the name that RZA of Wu-Tang fame decided to adopt for this pairing. Apparently this has been a passion project of theirs, and they've been working on it for 3 years. I had no idea this, so when it dropped, it was kind of a surprise for me. I had no idea that Paul Banks was a fan of hip hop or of the Wu-Tang at all, and I didn't know that RZA was working on anything new. I'm a big fan of both their groups, especially a lot of their earlier works with early Wu-Tang and early Interpol. Into the 36 Chambers was actually my first album that I ever listened to. I used to sneak into my brother's room when he left for school and throw it on when I was about 9 or 10, knowing damn well that it wasn't music I was supposed to be listening to, but I loved it. So I was definitely interested in seeing what this odd pairing could come up with them both being from New York and Paul having a background in punk rock and RZA, aka Steelz, having his background in hardcore hip hop with Wu-Tang. I was really expecting to hear something a little darker, a little gritty, something similar in sound to what they both have kind of become famous off of. But unfortunately, that is not the route that they decided to take. I don't know if it's because they're both getting a little older in their careers and they've both kind of started moving away from that type of sound. But whatever the reason is, the sound that came out on Anything But Words was a little that generic kind of crossover rap. Sonically, you know, these guys are professionals, so everything sounded great. RZA's beats were sharp and clean. Banks' guitars and synths blended perfectly with the mix. It was just, for me, missing that edge that I was really hoping to kind of hear in the music. That's not to say that the production is bad per se. A lot of production is good, but like I said earlier, it's just generic crossover type of production. It sounded like they were really aiming to chart, which I don't think is the route they should have taken. Conceal, Point of View, and One by One are probably my favorite songs off of Anything But Words, and they also happen to be some of the darkest, slower burn tracks off the whole project. Paul sounds great vocally, like always, although on this album he seems to be singing at a few octaves higher than I'm used to hearing him. And RZA, he's always been pretty cringeworthy for me when it came to his vocals. It's never something that I've ever liked to hear on an album. I always liked him behind the boards more than actually on a track. All the songs kind of follow that same formula of Banks on the chorus and RZA handling the verses. They all get their equal shine throughout the album, but I think the album would have benefited more if it would have leaned more heavily on Banks' vocals as opposed to RZA's. Some of the best moments on the whole album come from when there's a switch up of the formula, when you have some guest verses from the Wu or other people. More Wu-Tang members and less RZA rapping would have made these songs so much better. Anything But Words was an unexpected collaboration for me between two New York legends in Paul Banks and RZA. And sonically, everything sounds great. The production isn't terrible, but I feel like they just missed a huge opportunity to produce something that could have been a dark, gritty spectacle instead of this formulaic, generic crossover music that they put out. What do you guys think about the album? Were you expecting this collaboration between these two? Were you disappointed by the direction they decided to take it? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to head over to Living Life Fearless and leave a rating for the album there.